I have just finished watching your video. This is Noor's and Junsoo, Gabriel, and Avi's videos. I've just finished watching it, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up the rubric, and I'm going to take you through the rubric and tell you how I've scored you and why I've scored you that way. I'm sorry, but this is somebody else's, and I'm just going to change it all back to black so we can start again fresh. And so basically, once I've got these done, I'll be good to go. I'm going to start up at the top with your content and ideas. I think that as a group, I'd like to start by saying I think you worked pretty well together, and I was impressed with that. From the beginning, in the very first, you weren't so cohesive, but then later as you worked on, I was really impressed with how well you worked as a group. With your recreation of the scene, you have accurately retold it, and you have got all of the important details from the scene. Apart from the fact, I think you finished really early. I mean, the whole point of the symbolism of savagery would have been from the moment when he was suggesting a little one to be killed, and where you could have gone with that, and you didn't. You seem to spend an awful lot of time on parts of the story which perhaps weren't as important as other parts, and so you have recreated it and you have got the important details, but I think you need to balance it out a little bit better, because I'm going to give you here with the B for that, just because I think you had an awful lot of things that you didn't need, and perhaps some things that you should have had you didn't spend enough time on. With the interpretation, again, I'm not sure that you took that as far as you could have gone. The depth that I was looking for just wasn't there. You didn't really go into the whole savagery part as much as I would like. It was there, but not to the point. There was no real great analysis there. You didn't really go into the characterization of the boys in terms of to the level of depth, other than, Jack is a savage and Ralph, is usually civilized, but in this case he wasn't, and you didn't go down that path as much, or even really where I wanted you to go. So sorry, but I'm gonna have to say that you're down here in the C area for that part of the video. Organized, it captured the narrative well, it flowed logically most of the time, a little bit repetitive at times, which meant that I think you should have tightened it up a little bit more. It should have been there. It shouldn't have been that long, because it kind of sounded like you were saying the same things more than once. And you had the title page and the credits all there, so that's fine. So in the B area there for that. The mood, not sure you entirely captured. You got it through your images, definitely. Didn't see much else in terms of how you could have used it with the text that you had. Sound effects, you captured it mostly in your images, and so for that reason, I don't know, I'm still wavering between here and here. I'm going to be a little bit generous and say here, although I could easily have been swayed in the other direction because there wasn't enough there. The filming techniques, a few, I guess. You didn't really go backwards and forwards or zoom in or out. You didn't do anything with sound very much. So not the best that I've seen. One of the things that stands out for me, and you're not the only group to have done this, is you didn't actually check that the video was in focus, which is a big no-no. Really, it has to be in focus so that the audience can view it. There's nothing worse than trying to watch something which is out of focus. So for the lack of content, and because you didn't make sure it was in focus and you didn't really add anything in there, I'm going to put you down in this area here. Movement and sound I thought was okay. I was pretty engaged. There were times where it kind of sat still and I was getting a bit, but then you quickly rectified that. So I'm going to give you this here, B, for that part. So if we were to look at this overall, you can see that you've got some in the B's and a couple in the C's. This is worth 30% here, and half of that, and then this one here is worth 30% here. So overall it will be a B minus. Okay.